The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana is asking government to begin an initiative to ensure that crude oil from the country's fields are restocked and consumed locally to avoid the negative impact of price falls. The call follows the crash of oil prices on the world market due to the low demand for the product. Executive Secretary of COPEC Ghana, Duncan Amwa, says this is the best time for government to invest heavily in storage facilities.
When they are done with the May future forecasts, it is quite certain it will correct and balance a bit so that prices could come back to normal. It will be difficult for Ghanaians to at this point expect that because it's gone to zero or even negative on WTI. Brent wasn't zero as of yesterday. It was around 26. As of this morning, around 23.4. So it becomes quite difficult to think that once one benchmark goes to zero, then necessarily the Ghanaian market will be largely impacted. If it had been the Brent crude that had crashed, then you would expect that the pass-through effect will be felt at some point. Even that wouldn't have been as immediate as some Ghanaians are expecting local pump prices to drop to like 1 cedi per litre. That cannot happen. So we need to put that in proper perspective. Secondly, this is the perfect time that the Ghanaian authorities would have to pay a little more attention to oil. You cannot afford to lose both upstream and downstream. As we speak now, you are losing upstream because benchmark values have all tumbled, even on Brent. And so what you are producing, what your budgetary targets were or forecasts were, would have dropped significantly. That means that government is losing revenue. Should government be proactive in taking steps such that it can recoup some revenue downstream? Recouping revenue downstream means ensuring that your local refinery is brought back to productivity immediately. That way, your local oil producers like Tallow and the rest would not have to shut down because they are not getting their product or whatever the oil evacuated. And so if your refinery was working, you can have a feedstock for the refinery, even from your local oil reserves or, whatever fields. Now, you also have a strategic storage with BOST. It's got a huge capacity. BOST was set up to hold strategic reserves for Ghana. And that is to say that when prices are low, you stock up BOST. So that when tomorrow you wake up and prices have gone up, you will still have some minimum stock that you can use to balance off the market. As we speak, BOST doesn't have enough strategic stock. And we would want to plead with government to help BOST immediately so that whatever BOST needs to be able to stock up products, now that world market prices are low, we should do it.